Welcome to the course on R programming. In this session, we'll talk about an important data structure called the data frame. We'll see the definition of this data frame. A data frame is a table kind of two-dimensional data structure. In this data structure, we are going to store the real-time data. In generally, the real-time data is going to be in the form of rows and columns. You'll see this example. Here, if you observe, it's a two-dimensional one, rows and columns. And the column names are register number, name and marks. These columns we are going to call them as variables, or in sometimes we can call them as features also, because these are going to talk about the data. Here this is students' data, and this is represented in three modes. The modes are register number, name and marks, and we are going to call them as variables or features. And this is a row. This talks about a single student or one record, and this comprises the three variables or three columns. So this row talks about a student called the Steve. So a data frame, a data is framed in rows and columns. In this, columns are important thing, and one row talks about all columns. And sometimes some data may have or may not have, but that row talks about all the columns. So this is the way we are going to represent a data frame. The real-time examples, if we take a bank data, a customer ID, bank account type, and how much balance he is having, what are the loans he is having, like this we are going to take the attributes or the features, and there we are going to put each and every customer's data. Some customers may have loans, some may not have. If they don't have, that value is going to be as NA or null. If he has, we are going to give the value. But the fields are going to be important to analyze the things. The same way, if we take any company, their employees data or their production data, like if they produce some item, what is the item name, what is the quantity of that item, at which date it has manufactured. In this manner, different features or different values, variables we are going to pick, and to that variable we are going to we are go on writing the data. That's going to be a row format. So this is a data frame which is represented in two-dimensional or in a table format. And the characteristics of this data frame. The important characteristic is column names should not be empty. You can't leave the column names as empty, because column names are the features, and if we don't have a proper feature, there is no meaning of that value. So you can't have an empty column name, and at the same time row names should be unique, because a record is going to be a unique record, and that record has to be identified uniquely. Here, for example, take the student data. I said registered number and name and course. This is my data. So here These are the column names, and here row name should be unique, I said. So here my row name I am taking. So if I take the row name as some serial number, so serial number is not going to repeat. So this serial number is going to be a row name kind of thing. So here this is my first row, this is my second row, this is my third row, this is my fourth row and fifth row. Or even the register number itself can be a row name. In the sense, using this one I can able to access the entire data. So because of that, the row names must be unique one. So in generally the serial number is going to be considered as row name, and if we consider that serial number, and you won't get any duplicate values. And the third one is data stored in data frame can be a numeric or factor or character type. Different types we can able to store in data frame. And column should contain same number of data items. Okay. A column should contain equal number. Is if I have, as I told you, register number and name, course. Here if we have 10 number of students, 10 register numbers, then you should have only 10 names and 10 courses, not the more than this 10. The length must be same. If you have uneven lengths, the data frame, the R cannot able to understand that, and it doesn't create a data frame. So this is an important thing. Of course you can add the dummy values to make it as a structure. So this is an important thing. It should be in a proper structure, that is with the same number of data items. Now we'll see how to create this data frame. What is the syntax of this? Let's closely understand this one. So in previous class we have learned that how to create a list. To create a list we have a list function. The same way, to create a data frame we have a function called the data frame. So this is my function, data frame, and in this one we are passing the values. And I told you data frame is a two-dimensional structure. It is going to comprise the column names and values. So here my first column name is register number, and my second column name is name, and my third column name is salary. And the values, if you observe, I have taken 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 records, that is 5 register numbers I have taken. Okay. And the same with the names, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a vector, this is a character vector, this is a numeric vector. And salary, again another numerical vector. Like this, 3 things we have put. And if you ask me that what is the difference between a list and a data frame, a list can have different lengths, but data frame cannot have the different lengths. The lengths must be same. This is the difference we have to understand. And if we see the output is going to be in this manner. So these are the column names, register number, name and salary, and these are the records. This is the first record, and if you observe the numbers, unique row numbers it has given. And this is the vector, this is the name vector, and this is salary vector. All are put together and represented in the form of a structure called the data frame. We'll see in another example. Already we have created a vector register number, age and subjects, and these three things we have kept it here. We can directly pass the values to the data frame or already predefined vectors. This is a vector, second vector, third vector. These are all directly kept by passing age and subjects. Of course, the lengths of the vectors must be same. So here a similar one. So a data frame is going to be created in this manner. You see the output. This is going to be the output of the data frame. So already existing vectors can be converted it into a data frame, or directly by passing the vectors we can create a data frame. So now how to access the data frame columns? I wanted to get only single column data to analyze. For example, I have marks column and I wanted to analyze the marks of all students. I wanted to access only the single column marks. How we can do? So here we have a special symbol called the dollar. This is an interesting one, important thing, a dollar symbol. By using this dollar we can able to get the column. See this. This is a snapshot I have taken from the RStudio. Once we create a data frame, and here my data frame name is data. Here my data frame name is data, and here I have used this dollar symbol. Once I use this dollar, the RStudio itself is going to show us that how many columns are available in that data frame. So in my data frame I have 3 columns: register number, name and salary. It is showing the columns. Which column you wanted to pick? It is asking. Just I have to select one name. See that. Here I have taken register number, the first thing I have selected. The first column name I have selected, and the output I got is the values. So with the help of that dollar symbol I can able to pick one particular column's data. And now we'll see what are the different ways of indexing and how we can access. If you observe in this command, the brackets are divided by a comma symbol. See, I have written a data frame name. Data frame name must be there, and in brackets I have put a comma here. Why I am using this comma? Because for list I won't use, for vector I won't use. For list what I'll do is that I'm going to put like this, or I'm going to use the double brackets, and here I'm going to use. For vector I'm going to use a single bracket, but here I'm using double brackets. Sorry, I'm using here comma to separate the places, left this place and this place. Why? In the sense, this is the data frame is a two-dimensional structure. It's a two-dimensional in the sense rows and column. So this place is for row index, and this place is for column index. Row index and column index. Which row you want to pick, which column you want to pick, that you have to mention. If you leave both are empty, the R considers it as I'm asking for, or the user is asking for the entire data frame, and it's going to return all the rows and all the columns. And this indexing methods you are going to learn it in another section. So here for this command, the output we got is this one, the entire data frame we got. Why? In the sense, in row index I have kept it as empty and column index I have kept it empty. So empty means we are saying that you pick all the rows and all the columns. You'll see another example. See here. So here what I have done in my indexing, in this place I have put the row index is 1 and I left this as empty. What does it mean? I am saying that one, first row you pick and columns I left empty. In the sense, I am saying, I am instructing the R to pick all the columns, because I am not mentioning anything, in the sense all it is. So because of that, what it has given me the first record. The first record is his register number is 7001 and his name is Suresh and his salary is 25,000. It has given me the first row. Why? In the sense, in the index I have kept 1 and the rest places I have left empty. And in this example, see this. Here what I have done, this is the place, this is my row place and this is my column place. And while you are learning the vectors, you might have learned that in accessing we have a colon operator. What is the purpose of this colon operator? This is a range operator. It gives us starting point and ending point. It's going to pick the range of values. So, and in this example what I have done, in the row place I kept that 1, 2, 3 I kept. In the sense, from one row to third row, 3 rows you pick, and again I left this place as empty. In the sense, you pick all the columns, you show me all columns. So from 5 records it has picked 3 records and all the columns, the 3 columns it has picked. So this is how the indexing is going to happen in data frame. Now see here the example. What I have done, in this place I have left this as empty and here I kept 1. What does it mean? It means that you pick the first column. And how many rows? I kept this as empty. Empty in the sense, you pick all the rows. So it's nothing but I am asking to pick the first column. First column was register numbers. So all register numbers. How many records we have? We have 5 records in our data frame. So all the records we found, we got here. And in this example the same thing we have kept, but here in generally our register number column looks like this, 2 and so on. But this data is given in this row manner. If I wanted to show it in column manner, we have another argument called the drop. This drop, if I make it as false, so it is not going to drop the column and it is going to give the column as a column only. So we are going to get this output. So here the row part we left empty, in the sense all rows it has selected. Row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 1 column it has picked, the first column. In these 2 examples you can observe that again I have left the row column empty, in the sense all rows I have to select, and columns I kept 1, 2, 2, in the sense 2 columns. In our data frame we have 3 columns and I wanted to show, or I wanted to see only 2 columns. So because of that I have kept like this one, and I got 2 columns. And here what I have done, I have placed in rows 1 to 2 and in columns 1 to 2. So you pick 2 rows, we are saying to the R, you pick 2 rows 1 to 2, that is first row and second row, and in column also, okay, you pick 2 columns, first column and second column. So 2 rows and 2 columns, we are going to get part of the data frame. A part of the data frame we are going to get. So by this way we can able to access data frame. What is the data we need, based on that we can able to pick the data. So this is a snapshot to understand the accessing of data. We'll see it closely. First point is select row 1 in column 2. This is df1 comma 2. df1 in the sense I place row place 1 is the first row and second column. A single value we are going to get, that is the book. This is the first row and this is my second column, and this is the value for this one. And if you see this one, I am asking to select the 2 rows of all columns. So this part is going to be my output. 2 rows, all columns, ID, item, store and price. You can see this green color this way. And here I said that when you pick all the rows of first column, so this is going to be this one, the entire column it is selected. And here we wanted to pick a part of the data frame, first 3 rows and third and fourth column, 3, 4 column. So this is 1 to 3 is going to be 1, 2, 3 this part, and 1, 2, 3, 4, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, so 3 and 4th column, so this one, so this box 3 by 2 matrix kind of thing, okay, 3 by 2, 3 rows and 2 columns is going to be picked. So by practicing a lot we can able to understand that what is the data we want and how we have to use the indexing we can able to get. So how to add a new column to this data frame? This is very much similar to the lists only. In list we have used the indexing one, and here we are using the dollar symbol. As I told you, dollar is used to pick one particular column. And here if I wanted to add a new column, just I am going to use a data frame and dollar symbol, and here I am going to give a new column name, that is here sections I have added, and I have given the sections A and B. So previously in our data frame we had only 3 columns, now we have added a new column subjects by this command. And if I wanted to delete a column, simply again by using the dollar symbol, and which column you wanted to make it as null, make it as you wanted to delete, you just make this as null, and that column is going to be deleted. You can see the output, the third column was deleted. We have came to the end of this session, and we'll summarize what we have learnt. First, we have learnt the definition of the data frame and the syntax of the data frame. A data frame is a table kind of structure. It's a two-dimensional structure. It comprises of the rows and columns. This is the most important data structure to store the real-time data. And columns are going to be considered as variables. And we have some characteristics. The characteristics of column names cannot be empty, and row names must be unique one, and the lengths of the columns must be same. And we have learned how to use this dollar symbol. Dollar symbol is used to identify one particular column, to represent one column. And accessing the data, so the indexing we have learned, this one we have to remember. Before this comma is a row indexing, and after this comma is column indexing. If we left it as empty one, it means that we have to select the all rows or all columns. And if you want to select the part, you have to represent that index values here. And if you want to add a new column or delete a column, to add the new column we are going to use the dollar data frame and dollar, just giving the new name. And to delete that one, the same way, df and dollar, just we are going to use the column name and a special symbol called the null. By assigning this null, we can able to delete that column. Thank you for watching.